the G7 finance ministers have released their joint declaration on preparedness for antimicrobial resistance. It's an incredible document that came out. And the thing that's so exciting about this is that implicitly this document has been signed up to by all of the political leadership of all the G7. So U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen signing off on this, and implicitly the White House is signing off on this. And let me read a little something from the document itself. All G7 members commit to expedite their implementation of existing strategies, including respective AMR action plans. And here's the key. And to take specific and appropriate steps to address the antibiotic market failure. A little further on, they say possible steps could include exploring a range of market incentive options with a particular emphasis on supporting relevant pull incentives. So here we have this explicit calling out for all the G7 to get busy and work on pull incentives. There are two other pieces that are woven into this that are equally powerful. The first is there's a set of shared valuation principles. It's important that all the countries be pulling in the same way. We don't want wildly different directions going in from different countries. They need to be common so that the developers know what to do. And the document on the shared valuation principles mentions the idea of STEDI, the STEDI, the acronym we've seen before, Spectrum Transmission Enablement. Go read the link about STEDI. And CARB-X gets a shout out about stewardship and access plans because they actually they say we need stewardship, we need access, and go look at the CARB-X Stewardship and Access Planning Guide. Great example, they say. Fantastic. There's also a discussion of how you would go about setting the things that the developer needs to do in order to earn a delinked incentive. In addition to inventing the drug, but you've got to actually put it out there in the right way. Manufacturing standards, having a global access and stewardship plan, and so forth. Nice set of proposed standard global guiding principles, again, coming out of the G7 finance minister. And then the other document, which you might be tempted to not read, is the annex. The annex that says, well, it's going to have country by country action. So you figure it's going to be just a standard list. Well, you get into the annex, and some of it's stuff you immediately recognize, like a discussion of the UK Netflix model, or a discussion of the fact that the EU recently called for pull incentives, and there have been some requests for proposals for people to come and help them do pieces of the work to set up for that. Fantastic. To get to the section on what the U.S. is up to, in the last two paragraphs, amazing. The next to last paragraph talks about Pasteur, and it describes the Pasteur Act being introduced into Congress, and it says what it's going to do, a subscription-style model, and so explicit endorsement of Pasteur. So this is Treasury Secretary Yellen telling Congress, do it. We'd like to see this happen. But the final paragraph, you need to read this. In the event that the proposed act, that is Pasteur, is not enacted into law, HHS, that's the Department of Health and Human Services, the White House, has begun the process required to establish a novel payment mechanism with the HHS Federal Year 23 proposed legislative program. HHS, hence the White House, are saying this is so important that we're going to push this one way or another. Congress, come on, let's get this done. But if you don't do it, we're going to do the parts that we can do, while you get organized and make Pasteur happen. Absolutely incredible. The level of endorsement here by the G7 finance leaders as a group, wow, woot, woot.